On April 12, 2018, the city of Cape Town almost became the first major city in modern history to run out of water. 4 million people. Taps about to run dry. The government set a limit of 50 litres per person per day. Signs went up across the city. Day zero is coming. They avoided it, barely. But Cape Town was not an anomaly. It was a preview. Chennai, India's 6th largest city, actually ran dry in 2019. The Colorado River that supplies 40 million Americans is at historic lows. The UN declared a global water bankruptcy in January 2026, and AI data centers, consuming up to 5 million gallons of water per day each, are making every water system on Earth more stressed simultaneously. Goldman Sachs calls water the oil of the 21st century. The $13 trillion infrastructure gap needed to solve it is one of the largest investment opportunities in history. Chapter 1. How did we get here? Water seems abundant. It covers 71% of the Earth, but 97% is salt water. Of the remaining 3%, 2/3 is locked in glaciers. Less than 1% of all water on Earth is accessible freshwater, and that 1% is being consumed faster than it is being replenished. Agriculture consumes 70% of all fresh water on Earth. Feeding 10 billion people by 2050 requires 50% more food production. You cannot grow 50% more food without significantly more water. The water is not there. Then AI arrived and made it worse. A single large AI data center consumes up to 5 million gallons of water per day for cooling. Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta are collectively spending $300 billion on AI infrastructure in 2026. Every data center they build is a new permanent drain on local water systems. Phoenix, already one of the most water-stressed cities in America, is now one of the fastest-growing AI data center hubs on Earth. Climate change is not creating new water. It is making wet places wetter and dry places drier. The places getting drier, the American Southwest, the Mediterranean, South Asia, are together responsible for a significant portion of global food production. After Cape Town came Chennai. After Chennai came the Colorado River. After the Colorado River came the UN's Global Water Bankruptcy Declaration. This is not a coincidence. It is a trajectory. Chapter 2. The technology fighting back. The water crisis is an engineering problem, and engineering problems get solved, especially when there is a $600 billion market waiting. Saudi Arabia gets 70% of its drinking water from the sea. Israel gets 85%. Desalination costs have fallen 50% in a decade and are still falling. What was once too expensive for most countries is becoming economically viable for any coastal nation. Singapore recycles 40% of its wastewater back into drinking water. The technology works. The only barrier everywhere else is psychological. As scarcity intensifies, that barrier falls. Precision agriculture is the highest leverage intervention. Sensors embedded in soil combined with AI-driven irrigation can reduce agricultural water consumption by 30 to 50% without reducing yields. The Netherlands already does this at national scale. The world's second largest food exporter, using a fraction of the water conventional agriculture requires. And AI, the same technology stressing water systems through data center demand, is the most powerful tool for managing water more efficiently. Smart meters detecting leaks before they are visible. Algorithms predicting infrastructure failures weeks in advance. Satellite monitoring of aquifer levels giving governments real-time visibility into groundwater depletion for the first time in history. The crisis created the market. The market is funding the technology. The technology is beginning to work. Chapter 3. Who is making money? There is no water equivalent of Nvidia. No single stock up 800% on water excitement. But there is something more valuable for long-term investors. Boring, durable, recession-proof businesses supplying an essential resource whose price can only go in one direction: water utilities. American Water Works, the largest publicly traded water utility in the US, has outperformed the S&P 500 over the past decade through relentless compounding. In 2025, it merged with Essential Utilities, creating a $63 billion combined company. Not exciting. Permanent. Picks and shovels. Xylem, Veolia, and Pentair make the pumps, filters, and treatment systems that water infrastructure runs on. As $13 trillion gets spent on water infrastructure over 15 years, they supply the components regardless of which projects get funded. Desalination specialists. Energy Recovery Inc. has a near monopoly on a critical component of the most energy-efficient desalination technology. As desalination scales globally, it scales with it. The kind of unglamorous monopoly that compounds quietly while nobody is paying attention. The AI water intersection. Itron, Badger Meter, and Sensata technologies are building the sensing and monitoring infrastructure that makes smart water management possible. Sitting at the intersection of the water crisis and the AI revolution, quietly building the nervous system of a smarter water grid. On April 12, 2018, Cape Town put up signs telling 4 million people their water was about to run out. The rain came, the crisis passed, the world moved on. Chennai was not so lucky. The Colorado River is not recovering, and the AI data centers going up in Phoenix are going to use more water next year, not less. Goldman Sachs called water the oil of the 21st century. In 1900, oil was worthless. By 1950, wars were fought over it. Water already runs the world. We just have not priced it that way yet. The investors who understood oil in 1920 built generational wealth. The investors who understand water in 2026 may be looking at the same opportunity. If you want to understand how to invest in the most important resource markets of the next century, check out my complete investing masterclass. Link in the description.